Hi, Dave Youngquist, Michigan Toy Soldier. In the next two sessions we're going to be working on painting the face. I've got 6 colors from the Andrea paint pack, flesh paint pack, in front of me, and we're going to be starting with the darkest color, which is a mahogany brown. I generally prefer to work dark to light, and with this color we're going to thin it down pretty dramatically so it's almost translucent, and we're going to lay a bit of the darker colors, or this darker color, into the ear opening, a bit more into the openings of the nostrils, between the lips, and also the underside of the top lip. When painting the face, we want to replicate sunlight from a 12 o'clock position, in other words coming directly down on the figure. One good way to find out where the shadows are on the face or on the uniform itself is to take a lamp, put it directly above it, hold the figure up, and you'll actually see where the shadows and highlights are going to form on that face. So we're still working with this darker color. I'm going to put another coat on the bottom part of the upper lip. We go to the next darkest color, which is color number 2 in your paint set. And we're going to paint the eye bag. Again, keep the paint very thin. Then I'm going to take a mix of our darkest color and number 2, and we're going to paint in the areas just above the eyes. Just above where we put that shadow line in during the last session. I'm going to mix up a couple of our darker colors once again. Again, always keeping the tint towards the red, thinning the paint out, and we're going to paint a little bit on the side of the nose and then down this area. Both sides, keeping that mixture really thin again. This area. A little bit right underneath the lower lip, and at this stage your figure is going to look awful blotchy. Don't be concerned, it all comes together a little bit later. We're going to add a little bit of this red mixture into the temple area, and a little bit right here, again where the sun might not be hitting. Now that we've got the darker tones placed on the face, I'm going to jump in and start detailing the nose area. I'm going to mix color number, which one is it? Number 1, which is the base tone, and one of the lighter tones, which is number 3. We're going to mix those two together, again keeping the mixture very, very thin, and we're going to paint the bridge of the nose with that color. Just a quick swipe. The nostrils, and do those in a half moon shape. And again, this is going to look a little bit stark for you, but rest assured, again, it will all come together. Then one very important place to put a highlight that a lot of painters miss is right here. And we're going to lay that in. You lay it right next to the little shadow line that you would put there. There is a highlight on the top of the upper lip, and we're going to leave this unblended so you can see what we're doing. And the top of the chin, again all with this same paint mix. We're going to do the outside of the ear and the earlobe itself. Again, if the paint's not covering well, that's okay, because this is only the first coat, and we'll give you a close-up so you can see where we're at. Now that we've got the colors blocked in the nose and the upper lip area, we're going to now apply some highlights to the top of the cheekbones using the 3 lightest of the Andrea colors. And again, you're going to apply the paint, very thin coat, so that you can go back and add more as needed. So I'm going to take these colors and mix them up so we end up with something just a little bit lighter than the base coat that we currently have on the figure. And we're going to go directly underneath the eye bag. Again, it's pretty light. Don't let it surprise you. Going back to your base color, we're going to blend it in just slightly, drawing it down towards the lower part of the cheek so the contrast isn't so great. So again, we're going to have a high highlight up in this area, drawn out to the base color. And again, applying this very thinly, you can lay it right over some of the work you've already done, and that will give you your transitional tones. I'm going to take just a bit of that lighter color, again just a bit, add some of the base to it, and do the forehead. Just a nice pass with the brush, just to slightly alter the base color. Okay, now we're going to add a little bit of darks and highlights to the face, going back and forth. So we're really doing detail work right now. I wanted to add a little bit more of the highest highlight color, which is number 4, underneath the eye bag, just to make it pop out a little bit more. And I do that by drawing like a half moon directly underneath the eye bag. Tip of the nose, where light would be hitting. Again, a little bit extra just here, but just in the very top part of it. The color we applied earlier will still be there. And by mixing our flesh color number 3 with number 1 out of the red paint set, adding a little bit of number 1 out of the flesh paint set, we're going to get kind of a rosy color, and we're going to paint the bottom lip. I usually do this in a couple passes because the first pass always tend to make it a little too bright, and I don't think the Baron would approve. On the shadow colors, we're going to go back to some of our original colors, and again, acrylic paint dries pretty quickly, so you might have to put a little bit extra out on the palette. And I'm going to go in and just darken a couple areas that I feel it needs a little extra emphasis. By the corner of the eyes, even though the Baron was a young man, I'm still going to give him a couple crow's feet. I mean, he was a pilot after all, had a lot of stress. So we're just going to add just a bit in there. Very subtle, they're not going to pop out too much. And that same mixture, we're going to paint just a couple lines, like worry lines, on the forehead. And those you just paint thinly, directly across the brow. Alright. That's about as far as we want to go with this section. Next session, we're going to work on painting a 5 o'clock shadow and bringing a really nice rosy color into the cheeks. See you soon.